Another Major League Baseball live stream tonight here on my page. My name is John. My YouTube handle Sports Bonanza John. That's where you can find me. Also on Twitch tonight at Sport Guru John. Also have some content on Kick under Sports Kick John. On this Sunday night, Mets and Giants will be the game we do here tonight as the Mets look for the three-game sweep of the Giants out in the Bay Area. Mets have limited the Giants to 2 runs total first 2 games of this series as the Mets currently first place in the National League East, looking to add to that lead. Giants currently sit third in the National League West, still clinging to postseason aspirations as the Mets and Giants get set to kick things off in San Francisco on the City by the Bay on this Sunday night. Before we begin on this stream, brief synopsis of me. My name is John. I do various sports content all throughout the season. Going to be doing some Major League Baseball up until about a month from now when football season gets underway, and then there will be a lot of football content, a lot of action going on this page once football season gets underway here coming up in about a month or so. But we've got some baseball tonight, Mets and Giants. And as I do on all my streams, before we begin any kind of action, do always begin the evening with a prayer. So we will start right now. Lord, thank you for this day. And thank you for looking over us, Lord. And please look over these players tonight. Please keep everybody safe, players, fans, everyone alike. And look over them all, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, Mets and Giants, finale of this 3-game set. I mentioned Mets looking for the 3-game sweep. They won this one 8-1 on Friday night and getting the win last night 2-1 over the Giants. As the Mets have taken the lead, they've been in a battle with the Phillies all year in the National League East for first place. Mets currently have that first place spot right now at 61-44. First place in the National League East. Giants come in third in the National League West, 54-51. They are still clinging to some wild card hopes and playoff aspirations in the National League. Pitching matchup tonight, Kodai Senga on the mound for the Mets. Matt Gage will get the start on the mound for the Giants. On this pitching matchup tonight on this Sunday night. As the game goes on, we will update you on all the other Major League Baseball scores. Everything else has gone final on this Sunday, as we are 3 days away from the trade deadline as well in Major League Baseball. So we will update you on all that as well as this night goes on, as the New York Mets they're looking for pretty, not only postseason aspirations, they're looking to make a pretty deep run in this year's postseason. The Mets, they've been in a World Series drought as they are looking to get back there. And the Giants haven't been for over a decade as well. So both these teams wanting some postseason aspirations, if not very deep postseason aspirations. For the Mets and Giants, Mets haven't won a World Series since 1986, as they are going on 40 years. Of course, that epic series with the Boston Red Sox that year, that 7-gamer back in 1986, of course, the series that is known by the Bill Buckner misplay at first base. That was in Game 6 before the Mets won that in Game 7, 1986, the last World Series championship for the New York Mets. The last time the Mets were in the World Series was 10 years ago in 2015. They made the World Series, lost in 5 games that year to the Kansas City Royals back in 2015. So the Mets are currently in a 10-year World Series drought. The last time the Giants won the World Series, they did win it in 2014, the year before the Mets made it. They defeated Kansas City. That was the time Kansas City made it 2 years in a row. The Giants beat them in 2014. And that's the last time the Giants have made the World Series as well. So they are going on a decade drought themselves. As I mentioned, out throughout the night, we're going to keep you updated. We'll throw you Major League Baseball scores as well all throughout the night. Let's run down the scoreboard here real quick before we begin. The Pirates beat the Diamondbacks 6-0. Pirates took 2 of 3 in that series over the Diamondbacks. Orioles coming off an 18-0 win yesterday over the Rockies. They win it today, a little more competitive, 5-1. Red Sox and Dodgers gave stream I did last night on Saturday Night Game, and the Red Sox beat the Dodgers 4-3. Red Sox take 2 of 3 over the first-place Dodgers. Yankees avoid the sweep. They have really hit a funk here recently. The Yankees do win today and avoid the sweep at home by the Phillies 4-3. Reds a 2-1 win over the Rays. The Tigers avoid the 4-game sweep by the Blue Jays. Tigers win at 10-4. That could be a playoff preview between those two teams. Battle of Chicago goes to the Cubs 5-4 over the White Sox. Royals over the Royals win at 4-1 over Cleveland, I should say. Brewers, best team in the National League Central and possibly the best team in the National League right now. They win at 3-2 over the Marlins. A's win at 7-1 over the Astros. Nationals win in Minneapolis 7-2. Padres all over the Cardinals today at Busch 9-2. Rangers 8-1 win over the Braves, and the Angels, it just went final about 5 minutes ago. Angels beat the Mariners in that AL West battle 4-1. So that's the updated scoreboard today. Mets and Giants going to be getting underway tonight. Matt Gage gets the start on the mound for the Giants tonight. This is only his 4th start of the season. No record and a 0 ERA. Matt Gage has only appeared in 4 innings to this point. And I said it's his 4th start of the season. I bet it's the 4th appearance of the season. This is his first start of the season for Matt Gage. So not a lot to go. Only 4 innings so far. So he will get his first start here in 2025 in this one against the New York Mets, who will bring up the batting order. Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo leads off for the Mets. He'll be followed by Lindor. Soto, Pete Alonso will be the cleanup hitter. McNeil, Marte is in the DH spot tonight for the Mets. Beatty, Alvarez, and Mauricio round out the Mets batting order tonight as they look for the sweep in San Francisco, limiting the Giants to 1 run in the first 2 games of this series. 8-1 win on Friday and a 2-1 win yesterday for the Mets. So we are just about set to get underway as Brandon Nimmo will lead it off for the Mets against Matt Gage. Beautiful night by the bay in San Francisco. A lot of people with the canoes out there in McCovey Cove beyond right field, hoping to catch a home run ball out there tonight. Brandon Nimmo will be the leadoff batter for the Mets. He's hitting .262 on the season. He's got 19 home runs. He's drove in 59, 4th on the team in home runs for the Mets. This is not only the first start of the season for Matt Gage, it's his first career Major League Baseball start on the mound tonight. Facing a very, very good New York Mets lineup. As Nimmo will step into the box. Underway in San Francisco. First pitch swinging, hit to second base. 1 pitch and 1 out as the throw made over from Wisely to Smith. And that's how this game begins tonight in San Francisco. 1 pitch, 1 out, and it brings up Francisco Lindor, hitting .252 on the year, 20 home runs. Drove in 58. He is the Mets leader in hits this year with 105. As I believe it must be mascot night at Oracle Park back there. I see the Philly Fanatic back there. Boomer of the Pacers is back there. All sorts of Mr. Met sitting back there. All sorts of mascots behind home plate tonight. Here's the 0-1 pitch as Lindor fouls it off. 0-2. Looks like the San Jose Sharks mascot sitting back there. Oh, 2 the count, and here's the pitch to Lindor down low, ball 1. Gage looks on and delivers the 1-2 pitch to Lindor, fouled off third base side. Gage steps back in, as does Lindor as he awaits the 1-2 pitch. Here it is, strike 3. Lindor looks at it, and Gage has a strikeout. 2 down here in the first. And here comes Juan Soto. Mets leader in home runs. He is hitting .252, 24 home runs. He's drove in 61 on the year. 2 out, nobody on here in the Mets' first inning. Soto takes strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Inside to Soto, 1-1. Soto didn't look too pleased on that pitch coming inside to him like that. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Gage working quickly here and delivers the 2-1. That's on the ground to first. And Gage with a 1-2-3, top of the first inning. Giants come up for the first time in a scoreless game, as they will face the pitcher for the New York Mets tonight. Senga gets the start for the Mets tonight on the mound. Kodai Senga making his 16th start of the year. 7-3, very, very good ERA, just 1.79 ERA. 36 walks and 79 strikeouts in 80 2/3 innings. As Senga will face the Giants lineup, Lee, Ramos, and Devers will be the 1-2-3 hitters here in the bottom of the first. Willy Adames, the shortstop, is the cleanup hitter. Chapman, Yastrzemski, Smith, Bailey, and Wisely, the batting order tonight for the Giants against Senga. As again, the Giants look to avoid the sweep tonight by the Mets. Currently 3 games over 500 coming in. 54-51. Third place in the National League West behind the Dodgers and the Padres. As Jung-Hoo Lee will lead off the bottom of the first for the Giants. Jung-Hoo Lee comes in with a .254 batting average, 6 home runs, drove in 42 on the year. $63-degree evening in San Francisco, California, in the city by the bay. as Senga finishes his warm-up throws. And we'll get set to face Lee here at the bottom of the first inning. And the first pitch at the bottom of the first. It's a strike at the knees. Here's the 0-1. Fouled away. As Senga will get a new ball from the home plate umpire, which Ryan Blakeney, the home plate umpire tonight. Junior Valentine is at first base. Marvin Hudson is at second base. And Brock Ballou, the umpire, at third base. Here's the 0-2. Lee grounds it to first. Easy play right there. And the play made by Alonso, and one down here in the bottom of the first. Brings up Elliot Ramos, hitting .270 on the season, 14 home runs. He's drove in 50. Team's leader in batting average and hits. And Senga delivers to Ramos. Ramos goes after the first pitch and fouls it back, strike one. Here comes the strike one pitch to Ramos. Down and low, or down and in, 1-1. One pitch. That's down low, 2-1. Big crowd on hand tonight at Oracle Park on a 63-degree evening. Or I should say 63-degree late afternoon still out there in San Francisco, as that pitch misses, 3-1 now. Senga looks in and delivers the 3-1 pitch to Ramos. Ball 4. And Ramos draws a one-out walk. And it will bring up Rafael Devers, DHing tonight for the Giants. Devers coming in at 244 with 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Rafael Devers came over for the Giants. This is his 34th game with the Giants. He came over in a trade with the Red Sox, from the Red Sox. And Devers takes strike one. Devers awaits the 0-1, and here it is. That's lined to short and caught. Lindor with the grab for out number 2. And it'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Willy Adames. Adames hitting .230, 15 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Adames leads the Giants in home runs. Senga's pitch to Adames right there for strike one. Senga looks in and delivers the 0-1 pitch to Adames. Adames fouls it back, and Adames is now in an 0-2 hole. Flags blow and look like the wind's heading toward right field. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Down low, 1-2. Lead at first from Ramos, and the 1-2 pitch from Senga to Adames. Hit to third. And the short route to second. And the out recorded there, and the Giants are finished in the first inning. They get a walk, and strand one in the books in San Francisco. Mets and Giants, no score. As mentioned, the Mets looking for the sweep here. Following this, the Mets will stay out in California, head down to Southern California to take on the Padres, begin a series with the Padres tomorrow night. Giants will stay at home and begin a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates starting tomorrow. Pirates coming off a series at home against the Diamondbacks, a NL West rival of the Giants. Padres took 2 of 3 in that series in Pittsburgh this weekend. And the Padres heading back home to take on the Mets, coming off a series split in a 4-game series with the Cardinals this weekend. So here in the Mets' second inning, Pete Alonso will lead off. Cleanup hitter tonight for the Mets. Alonso will be followed by Jeff McNeil and Starling Marte. As Pete Alonso will step in. He's the Mets' leading hitter in batting average-wise, .269 with 22 home runs, and is also the team's RBI leader with 81. And we immediately are going to see a new pitcher on the mound for the Giants. So Gage gets his first major league start, goes 1 inning, and will give way to Spencer Bivens. With 2-3 record, 4.5 ERA, 16 walks and 40 strikeouts in 50 innings. So Bivens' first pitch is outside to Pete Alonso for ball 1. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 1-1. Alonso fouls the 1-1 back. It's now 1-2. So an interesting move there. To give Gage his first major league start as that comes up and into Alonso 2-2. But Bob Melvin decides to pull Gage after the first inning. Here comes the 2-2 to Alonso. That's on 1 hop to short. Adames over to first, and there's the first out here in the top of the second inning. And it will bring up Jeff McNeil, the batter for the Mets. McNeil hitting .248, 9 home runs. He's drove in 32 on the year. The pitch to McNeil, nice play there by first, and the throw over, and a diving stop made there at first base by Smith. Fine diving play to retire McNeil for out number 2. We'll bring up Starling Marte with 2 out, nobody on here in the Mets' second inning. Marte, 282 hitter. 4 home runs. He's drove in 20 on the season. That comes inside, 1-0. Starling Marte, the DH tonight for the Mets. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Now on the count on Marte. 1-1. That's going to get through it into right field for a base hit, and there's the first hit of the night, a 2-out single for Starling Marte here in the second for the Mets. And it will now bring up the Mets' second baseman, Brett Baty. Baty hitting 238. He's got 11 home runs. He's drove in 33 on the year. Baty awaits the pitch, and here it is. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Baty. That's fouled away, third base side, 1-1. Marte at first base, not a huge stolen base threat. He's only got 5 on the year. And here's the 1-1 pitch. That caught the outside corner at the knees, 1-2. One-two pitch to Baty. Swing and a miss. Baty went after a high one and strikes out, and that does it for the Mets in the second. A 2-out single by Marte, but he's stranded right there. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, Mets nothing, Giants nothing. It will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters for the Giants here in the bottom of the second. Chapman, Yastrzemski, and Smith. Again, Major League Baseball trade deadline coming up just 3 days from now. Who will be buyers and who will be sellers? I mentioned on the web stream I did last night on the Dodgers-Red Sox game. Usually by this time, you have a handful of teams pretty much out of it that you would think are going to be sellers. But this year, a little different. There's still quite a few teams that think they are still in the playoff picture for this time of year. So it'd be interesting to see if we have quite as many sellers this year as we have in years past. See how that goes. As there are still several teams with what they feel are good postseason aspirations here with 2 months left to go in the season. These two teams are 2 of those. The Mets, National League East leaders, and the Giants right in the wild card hunt in the National League. They're 6.5 out behind the Dodgers in the National League West. As we get set to go at the bottom of the second inning here, Matt Chapman will lead it off for the Giants. He is a .241 batter this year, 14 home runs, 38 runs batted in, as he will face Senga back to the mound for the Mets. as the Mets look to add to their lead in the National League East. First pitch, bottom of the second, to Matt Chapman from Senga. First pitch swing, fouled back, strike one. Senga looks in and delivers the 0-1 pitch as the wind starts to kick up. Strike two. See a lot of fans with some lighter weight jackets and some sweaters on, and it's 63 degrees there in the Bay Area, and with the wind, I'm sure that is a bit of a chilly late afternoon out there in the Bay Area as that 0-2 misses low, 1-2. Those Bay Area winds can make it a little chilly out there. 1-2 pitch. I think Senga thought he had strike three, as that looked like a pretty good pitch. Not sure where exactly that missed, but it's 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a strike. Called strike three. Chapman didn't like that one. Chapman did not care for that call, and he lets home plate umpire Ryan Blakeney hear about it. One down here in the second. Brings up Mike Yastrzemski. A .235 hitter, 8 home runs. He's drove in 28, and there's a strike. Oh, 1 bounces up there, 1-1 now on Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski steps back in and awaits Senga's 1-1 pitch. Here it comes, on the way. Down low, 2-1. Yastrzemski waits, and the 2-1 pitch from Senga down low, now 3-1. (3-1) to Senga, from Senga to Yastrzemski, misses for ball 4, and there's a 1-out walk for Yastrzemski here in the second. And it will bring up Dominic Smith, Giants first baseman, hitting .250. He's got 2 home runs. He's drove in 11. 32nd appearance of the year for Smith. And takes strike 1 at the knees from Senga. Oh, 1 pitch, and that same spot on the outside quarter. Now 0-2. Smith is down in the count. Giants catcher Patrick Bailey on deck. Smith stands in the box and awaits Senga's 0-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. The runner was off, and he's going to make it to third base. It's runners at the corners with one out for the Giants. Yastrzemski was off on that pitch. There was a gap up in center field, and Smith saw it and took advantage, and it's runners at the corners for the Giants with one out. Brings up the Giants catcher, Patrick Bailey, hitting .207 on the year. 2 home runs, 28 driven in, and a great RBI chance here to give the Giants the early lead. Senga's pitch to Bailey. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Oh, 1 pitch on the way. Outside, 1-1. One pitch. Swing and a miss, and now it's 1-2 on Bailey. Number 9 hitter for the Giants, Brett Wisely, is on deck. Senga steps back in as does Bailey in the box, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. Got him. Bailey strikes out. 2 down in the inning, and it will bring up Brett Wisely. Number 9 hitter for the Giants, hitting .220 on the season. He's got a home run. He's drove in 9. First and third, 2 outs for the Giants. Scoreless, bottom second. Senga looks in and delivers to Wisely. Strike one. So Senga, the first time through the lineup, has started with a first pitch strike on every batter so far. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. One and two the count. Yastrzemski at third. Smith is at first. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Senga, and the second inning finish. The Giants leave 2 on. We've played 2. Mets nothing. Giants nothing. So the tentative plan, as I mentioned, of doing a lot of Major League Baseball on this stream up until football season starts, the tentative plan is to be back with you Tuesday night for a stream before a game between the Rays and the Yankees. That's tentative, depending on I do have a full-time job during the week, so it's been a little hectic there. So I have to wait and see how it goes. But the tentative plan, as mentioned, is to be back with you Tuesday night for a stream between the Rays and the Yankees game. I'll have a couple more baseball streams for you next week. And of course, the NFL starts its preseason slate on Thursday night with the annual Hall of Fame game, Chargers and Lions, and it is Hall of Fame weekend for 4 new NFL Hall of Fame inductees. Jared Allen, Eric Allen, Antonio Gates, and Sterling Sharpe. Sterling Sharpe, the phenomenal wide receiver. What a career he had for the Green Bay Packers. I mentioned a couple times talking about this. My opinion, Sterling Sharpe should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. Way, way overdue, but well deserved for Sterling Sharpe. So those 4 new inductees will be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame coming up this coming weekend in Canton, Ohio. And today in Cooperstown, New York, the Major League Baseball inducted their new members of the Hall of Fame. Ichiro Suzuki, boy, what a great career he had. CC Sabathia, great pitcher for the Yankees. Billy Wagner, one of the great closers in Major League Baseball. Dave Parker and Dick Allen, 5 new inductees into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame this year, as they got inducted at Cooperstown today. 3rd inning underway. And strike 1 here to the leadoff batter in the Mets' 3rd inning. Francisco Alvarez, the catcher, hitting .243, 4 home runs. He drove in 13. And the 0-1 pitch right down the middle, strike 2. It's now 0-2. .02 on the way outside, 1-2. One-two pitch. Alvarez fouls it off. Lots of boats out there in McCovey Cove beyond right field tonight as the 1-2 pitch misses high, 2-2. 2-2. In the air to center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Alvarez is aboard with a leadoff single here in the 3rd inning for the Mets. And it will bring up the number 9 hitter for the Mets, their 3rd baseman, Ronnie Mauricio. Mauricio, a .224 hitter with 4 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Alvarez at first, and Mauricio fouls it off first base side, strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Mauricio hits it into right field for a base hit. And the Mets have back-to-back singles here in the top of the 3rd inning and have runners at first and second. So the Mets with their first serious threat of the game so far. And we are back to the top of the order in Brandon Nimmo. Back-to-back singles to lead off the 3rd here for the Mets. Nimmo shows bunt and takes it inside, ball one. One-0 pitch on the way to Nimmo. As you're getting now, going back to the top of the order, you're getting into the meat of the Mets lineup. 1-0 pitch. Nimmo does not show bunt this time. That's hit to second. They go to second. One on to first. It's not in time at first base. So the runner at first is retired. That was hit hard to the second baseman Wisely. He kind of fell after he got that ball. They got the out as he flipped to Adames at second base, but it was with that little hesitation there after the slip. It threw off the timing a little bit, and the throw to first was just late. So now it's runners at first and third with one out for the Mets, as Francisco Lindor will be the batter. Lindor, a strikeout victim his first time up. That was against the starter Gage. The pitch to Lindor is fouled off, strike one. Nimmo at first base does have 12 steals on the season. Here's the 0-1. A high bouncer. That's going to get a run home for sure. Throw to first in time, but the run comes in, and the Mets take a third inning lead, 1-0. That was a very high chopper. There was no chance to get anybody except Lindor at first base. And his RBI puts the Mets ahead 1-0. And Juan Soto will step up for the Mets with two out and a runner at second. Soto takes outside, ball one. So the Mets take the third inning lead here, 1-0. Nimmo standing at second base with two outs. And the 1-0 pitch to Soto, strike one, as that caught the outside edge. One pitch on the way to Soto's down low, 2-1 now. Two-one pitch on the way to Soto. Strike two. Counts even now, 2-2 with two out. Juan Soto, not as productive of a player with runners on base as he would be if the bases are empty. With runners on base, Juan Soto hitting just 176 on the season. And the 2-2 pitch on the way. Outside, and the count runs full now, 3-2. Soto steps back in and awaits the 3-2 payoff. Popped up. Foul territory. That will get out of play. Under the camera press area there, next to the third base dugout. And Soto steps back in for another 3-2 payoff pitch on the way. Here's the 3-2. Strike three as Soto watches it go by him. And that ends the top of the third. Mets get one to take the lead. As we head to the bottom of the third, it'll be the top of the order coming up for the Giants as the Mets lead it 1-0 after 2.5. I mentioned right before that last half inning, kind of had to rush through it there with the talking about the NFL Hall of Fame, but the 5 new Hall of Fame inductees for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame this year. That ceremony was today up there in Cooperstown, New York. Of course, Ichiro Suzuki, boy, what a phenomenal career he had. Mostly known for his time with the Seattle Mariners, but did spend time with the Marlins there at the end of his career. CC Sabathia, what a career he had for the Yankees on the mound. Great, great pitcher. One of the best closers of all time, Billy Wagner. There's a Houston Astros closer. Dave Parker, also a phenomenal career, and Dick Allen, the other 2 inductees into this year's Baseball Hall of Fame. So 5 new inductees in Cooperstown in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. A place I have still never been, but would love to get up there someday. Baseball Hall of Fame up in Cooperstown, New York. Been to Canton. The NFL, that was quite the experience for the NFL Hall of Fame, but have not made it to Cooperstown. Here at the bottom of the third inning here, the Mets lead at 1-0. It'll be the top of the order for the Giants. Lee, Ramos, and Devers against Senga. As we hit the bottom of the third inning, we'll run down the full baseball scoreboard again for you coming up after this half inning, as everything else in Major League Baseball is final on this Sunday. Senga back to the mound here, and Lee will step up here to lead off the bottom of the third for the Giants. Now down a run as Lee takes outside ball 1. That is the first time Senga has started the batter with a ball. He's 9 for 9 on first pitch strikes the first time through the Giants lineup. Throws a strike here to even the count 1-1. One pitch from Senga down low, 2-1. Two one from Senga to Lee. Up high, 3-1 now. Senga's 3-1 pitch to Lee. Swinging away and fouls it off, and that will fill the count 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way from Senga to Lee. Here it is. Instead, time is called. Ooh, that was close on the time, and actually he's going to call a pitch clock violation on Senga, so that's going to be ball 4. And the clock did indeed hit 0 looking at that replay, so that was a good call. So the pitch clock violation puts Jung-Hoo Lee aboard at first base, as Elliot Ramos will step to the plate now for the Giants. Ramos takes ball 1. That is one of the One of the great rule changes in Major League Baseball over the last couple of years, that pitch clock. It has really sped games up. That's hit to third. Mets are going to try to turn two. They do not. They get the lead runner, and that's it. So Ramos grounds into a 5-4 fielder's choice. One away here in the third. And it will bring up Rafael Devers. Devers 0 for 1 in the game so far. And ball one low. Devers steps back in and awaits Senga's 1-0 pitch. That's hit foul. 1-1. One and one the count on Rafael Devers, and here comes the pitch. That's in the air to left center. Playable out there, and the catch made in left center by McNeil for out number 2. Moving up to second base and tagging up is Ramos, so he gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. And it'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Adames. The mascot parade that we had at the beginning of the game there behind home plate has dissipated. Had about 10 or 15 mascots back there behind home plate right when this game started. They have disappeared to other areas of Oracle Park. Adames fouls this pitch back for strike 1. Runner at second, 2 outs. Giants down a run here in the bottom of the third inning. As Senga is nearing the 50 pitch mark here in the bottom of the third. This will be pitch number 47. And here comes the 0-1. Adames fouls it off, and he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Giants looking for their first hit this series with a runner in scoring position. They are 0 for 18 this series with runners in scoring position. Mentioned only scored a run in both games of the series so far. That's a check swing, hit to third, and that's going to be and I don't know what Ramos is doing there, but he's going to be out at third base by a mile. That ball was hit to third base. Ramos hesitated from second and waited until the ball was almost into the glove of the third baseman. Mauricio then took off, and Ramos was out by a country mile at third base. So a base running blunder to end the bottom of the third for the Giants. They do not score as we go to the fourth. It's the Mets 1 and the Giants nothing. See if that play comes back to be a big factor later on in this game. I have no idea what Ramos was doing there. As we go to the fourth inning, let's run down the full Major League Baseball scoreboard for you once again. In Pittsburgh, the Pirates shut out the Diamondbacks 6-0. Pirates take 2 of 3 in that series. Orioles, a 5-1 win over the Rockies, followed an 18-0 win last night with a 5-1 win today. Orioles win that series 2 out of 3. Red Sox take 2 of 3 over the Dodgers. Red Sox win it 4-3. In the Bronx, the Yankees avoid the sweep as they beat the Phillies 4-3. Reds beat the Rays in Cincinnati 2-1. That's a 3-game sweep for the Reds over the Rays. The Tigers avoid a 4-game sweep at home by the Blue Jays as the Tigers win that game 10-4. Cubs 5, White Sox 4. Cubs take 2 of 3 over their crosstown rivals. Royals over Cleveland 4-1. In that one, Royals take 2 of 3 there. Brewers a 3-2 win over the Marlins. Brewers, one of the hottest teams in the National League right now. They avoid the sweep, though, by the Marlins in this one. A's all over the Astros 7-1. In Minneapolis, the Nationals 7-2 win over the Twins. Padres beat the Cardinals at Busch today 9-2. Teams split the 4 games there. Rangers all over the Braves in Arlington today 8-1. And in an AL West battle in Arlington, or in Anaheim rather, the Angels beat the Mariners 4-1. That's your complete baseball scoreboard on this Sunday. And here it's 1-0 Mets as we head to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Mets lineup. Alonso, McNeil, and Marte. In the 4th inning, Mets got their run in the 3rd on an RBI ground out by Lindor. And that's the only run of the game so far. Through 3 innings, first pitch fouled away by Alonso for strike 1. Pitch to Alonso misses down low. And the delivery to Alonso. On the hit foul, third base side. Here comes the delivery to Alonso. Swing and a miss. He got him. Alonso went after a ball outside, and that's strikeout number 3 for Vivens tonight. And it will bring up McNeil. McNeil 0 for 1 in the game so far. And McNeil takes a strike. McNeil thought that was low. Didn't care for that call. Here's the 0-1. McNeil fouls it away, and now he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Oh, 2 pitch. That is ripped into right field, and that's going to be one hopping off the wall. Rounding first and heading to second, standing up, is McNeil, and he's got himself a 1-out double. McNeil's 9th double of the season, and he has himself in scoring position with 1 out here in the Mets' 4th inning. And it brings up Starling Marte. Marte is 1 for 1 with a single in the game. And Marte takes a little inside for ball 1. One 0 pitch to Marte. Here it comes. At the knee, strike 1. Marte looks in and awaits the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. comes the 2-1 pitch. That hits the outside corner, 2-2. Two-two pitch on the way to Marte. Here it comes. Marte rips it. Foul, just foul along the third baseline. That was close. That was foul by mere inches. That even ate up the ball boy down the third baseline. That was a rocket. And time called. Two-two delivery. Just missed. And the count goes full. Three-two payoff pitch to Marte. Here it is. And another foul ball, and we'll do it again. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Another 3-2 payoff. And another foul ball. Great battle here. It'll be pitch number 9 of the at-bat. McNeil, the runner at second. Got there via one-out double here in the 4th. And the 3-2 payoff once again to Marte. Another foul ball. What a battle. And a great job by Marte here. Got another 3-2 payoff pitch to Marte on the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Here it is. Ball 4 low. And Marte draws a walk. An excellent at-bat by Starling Marte. And it will bring up Brett Baty. With runners at first and second and one out. Bob Melvin, Giants manager, not happy with that last ball 4 call. He's letting the home plate umpire Ryan Blakeney hear about it. Blakeney's gotten some discussions from a couple players tonight. So Baty steps in with runners at first and second and one out as the Mets look to add to their 1-0 lead here in the top of the 4th. McNeil at second. Marte at first, the 2 base runners for the Mets. And the pitch to Baty, swing and a miss, strike 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Baty fouls it off. Baty's now in an 0-2 hole. 0-2 pitch coming to Beatty. Instead, Beatty steps out. Here's the 0-2. Check swing. Back to the pitcher, on to second, one on to first for the inning-ending double play. Beatty grounds into a 1-6-3 double play to end the top of the fourth inning, and the Mets do not score. They strand one. We go to the bottom of the fourth. In San Francisco, it remains the Mets 1, the Giants nothing. Giants in the bottom of the fourth inning will have Chapman, Yastrzemski, and Smith, 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. Down by a run. Mentioned earlier, after this game in San Francisco tonight, the Mets will travel down south to Southern California to start a series with the Padres. That's a big series starting tomorrow night. Giants stay at home and entertain the Pirates for a series beginning tomorrow night. And then these two teams, the Mets and the Giants, will turn around and play right up again next weekend, but this time over at Citi Field in Queens. So these two teams are going to be playing each other, counting these last two games they played, 6 times in 9 days. As the scene will shift to Citi Field in Queens next weekend. A 1-0 lead here for the Mets as we get set to go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Again, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 in the Giants order. Chapman, Yastrzemski, and Smith in the bottom of the fourth inning. Smith has the only hit to this point for the Giants. Chapman will lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth. He was a strikeout victim against Senga his first time. As we are set to begin the bottom of the fourth inning from San Francisco. First pitch, bottom 4 from Senga to Chapman. Inside, ball 1. That almost hit him. Senga's 1-0 pitch down low. It's now 2-0 to Chapman. Two-0 pitch on the way. Chapman sends one into left center field. Back it goes. Goodbye. Matt Chapman sends it out, and this game is tied 1-1. Number 15 on the year for Chapman. That was a blast to left center. A 413-foot blast to left center field to tie this game here in the bottom of the fourth. About a quarter of the way up that left center field seats up there. So brand new ball game here, 1-1. As Yastrzemski takes ball 1. Yastrzemski drew a walk his first time up. And Yastrzemski fouls this one back. Ball and a strike. 1-1. Outside, 2-1 now. Here comes the 2-1 to Yastrzemski from Senga. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now. Senga's 2-2 pitch on the way to Yastrzemski. Is popped up. And on the infield, third baseman there for the grab, Mauricio, for the first out here at the bottom of the fourth. One down here in the Giants' fourth inning, and it'll bring up Dominic Smith. Giants first baseman before the Yastrzemski home run had the only hit for the Giants against Senga. Or by the Chapman home run, excuse me. Ball one low. One 0 pitch on the way from Senga to Smith is down low, now 2-0. Two 0 pitch. Strike one, as that one's down the middle. Giants catcher Patrick Bailey is on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's at the D's, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Senga. Here it is. That was almost another pitch clock violation by Senga, and it's a ball anyway. It's now full count, 3-2. Three-two payoff pitch. Ball four. Smith reaches for the second time, and as he draws a one-out walk here in the bottom of the fourth. And it will bring up Bailey, who was a strikeout victim his first time against Senga. Senga looks in and delivers to Bailey. Ball one. Here's the 1-0. Outside, 2-0. This is an interesting stat. The first time through the lineup, Senga started with a first pitch strike on every batter. Second time through the lineup, he's only done it one time. As Bailey sends this one into left center field on his horse out there. And for the catch is a left fielder, Nimmo, for out number 2. Nimmo got a great jump on that one, is able to get that one before it fell into the gap. Out number 2. And it will bring up Brett Wisely. Wisely was also a strikeout victim his first time up. One of 3 strikeout victims against Senga in this game. He shows bunt and pulls the bat back for ball 1. Wisely steps in and awaits the 1-0 pitch from Senga. Swing and a miss. 1-1 now on Wisely. Matt Chapman home run here in the bottom of the 4th inning has tied this game. Giants have the go-ahead run on here at first with 2 outs. And the 1-1 pitch. Fouled away, 1-2. Smith, the runner at first base with 2 outs for the Giants. And another 1-2 pitch coming. That will get away from the catcher, and up to second base will go Smith. So now the Giants have the go-ahead run in scoring position now with 2 outs. And a 2-2 count on Wisely. And the pitch. Outside, and the count runs full now. Three-two payoff pitch from Senga to Wisely. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. And Senga just crossed the 70 pitch mark, and we're not even out of the 4th inning yet. Here comes another 3-2. That's inside, ball 4. That's the 5th walk allowed by Senga in this one, and the Giants have 2 on with 2 out. As we're back to the top of the order, Jung-Hoo Lee. He has 1 of the 5 walks allowed by Senga. Lee awaits the pitch from Senga. Little break here as Senga steps back in. Senga to Lee. Here's the pitch. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Down low. Nice stop back there by Alvarez. 1-1. Smith, the go-ahead run for the Giants, stands at second base. Wisely, the runner at first base. 2 outs. One, a swing and a miss by Lee. Now 1-2. He lost his helmet on that one. He swung so hard. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Senga to Lee. Popped up. Shortstop Lindor calls and makes the catch for out number 3. So the Giants settle for 1 on the Chapman home run. They strand 2. Giants have left 6 runners on base through 4 innings. As we head to the 5th in San Francisco, Mets 1, Giants 1. The Mets will have Alvarez, Mauricio, and then the top of the order, Nimmo, 8, 9, and 1, due up here in the top of the 5th inning. In a 1-1 ball game. As the Giants look to avoid a 3-game sweep by the Mets in this one. And again, these two teams are going to turn around and meet each other right again next weekend, but this time out at Citi Field in Queens for a weekend series next weekend. As the Giants they're right in the thick of the wild card race, but they're still trying to keep hopes alive in that National League West race. They're 6.5 behind the Dodgers coming into this game. In third place in the National League West, Padres in second. And the Mets coming in leading the National League East. They have been in that battle with the Phillies all year in that National League East race. As we are set to begin the top of the 5th inning in a 1-1 game between the Mets and the Giants, it'll be Alvarez leading it off for the Mets. It's 1-for-1 in the game. He singled and scored the Mets run back in the 3rd. He scored on the sacrifice fly by Lindor. As we are underway in the top of the 5th inning, Alvarez to the plate. And takes outside, ball 1. That hit the outside corner for strike 1, a ball and a strike. One pitch to Alvarez. Alvarez goes after it, sends it into right center field. That's going to get down. Alvarez rounding first and will be in at second, standing up with a leadoff double here in the 5th for the Mets. Alvarez now 2 for 2. And it will bring up Mauricio. See if he'll be up there to try to bunt Alvarez over to third. Hit number 5 for the Mets. They've out-hit the Giants 5-2 in this one. No sign of a bunt here by Mauricio, and he fouls it off for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. On the ground, that's fair down the right field line. Alvarez will round third and score easily. Mauricio in at second, RBI double, and the Mets have taken the lead back. It's 2-1 Mets here in the fifth. Back-to-back doubles for the Mets as Alvarez comes in with the go-ahead run. And that will bring us back to the top of the order. Nimmo, and out comes Bob Melvin. It looks like to make a change on the mound. So back-to-back doubles for the Mets here in the fifth have given them the lead back 2-1. It chases Ivins out of this game. And the new pitcher for the Giants will be Joey Lucchesi. He'll be in for the 15th time on the season. 0-1 record. ERA of 1.8. 2 walks and 17 strikeouts in 15 innings. Very, very limited action this year. But he inherits a runner at second. With nobody out, a run already in for the Mets here in the fifth on back-to-back doubles by Alvarez and Mauricio. Alvarez has scored both runs for the Mets tonight. And now we're getting into the meat of the Mets order as we're going to be back to the top of the order. Nimmo, and then it'll be Lindor and Soto. As the Mets feel they have a real good chance to put some insurance on the board in this one. Lucchesi, the third pitcher for the Giants tonight. Gage, the starter. He got his first major league start in this game. Only pitched 1 inning. Ivins came in. And now it's Lucchesi. So the numbers for Ivins, 3 innings plus, 2 runs, both earned, 6 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts, and he is responsible for the runner at second base. The first pitch from Lucchesi to Nimmo was fouled away, strike 1. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Nimmo. Foul back. It's 0-2. Nimmo steps in and awaits the 0-2 pitch. On the ground, foul, first base side. We'll do it again. And the mascots have made an appearance once again behind the dugout. Mr. Met, the Philly fanatic over there. Giants and San Jose Sharks mascots over there as well. I'm sorry if you're a Mets fan watching this stream. Mr. Met's fantastic, but no, you can't top the Philly fanatic, the best mascot in all of Major League Baseball. 0-2 pitch is bounced up there, 1-2. Boomer, the Pacers mascot over there. Sharky, the mascot of the San Jose Sharks. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. On the ground to second. That'll move the runner up. Nimmo out at first. Mauricio over to third now with 1 out. So Nimmo does advance the runner. And now Francisco Lindor will come up to have a chance to drive in Mauricio and give the Mets an insurance run. Lindor's 0 for 2. He has a sacrifice fly in this game. Ball 1. Or an RBI ground out, I should say, not a sacrifice fly. 1-0 pitch. Hit to short, coming home, and Mauricio is out by several feet. He was going on contact, and that ball was hit right to the shortstop, and Mauricio was a dead duck at home plate. And that's out number 2. Adames made the play on the ball and immediately threw home as he saw Mauricio was going on contact, and Mauricio was out by a mile. 2 down now. Lindor's at first base, and the batter will be Juan Soto. 0 for 2 evening going, and a strike. Juan Soto has 1 hit against Lucchesi in his career, and that 1 hit is a home run. One and one, the count on Juan Soto. And here's the pitch. Soto pops it up. Third base side, foul territory. Catch made over there by Chapman for the 3rd out. So the Mets settle for 1. It could have been worse for the Giants. As we're halfway through this one, it's the Mets 2 and the Giants 1. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the Giants lineup. Ramos, Devers, and Adames in the bottom of the 5th inning as the Giants are trailing again 2-1. Been out hit in this game 6-2. But they have left 6, and the Giants have had chances. They've left 6 men on base through 4 innings so far. As Senga will head back out for the Mets. He's at 76 pitches through 4 innings. So they may try and get him through the 5th here, but that may be about it. Try and get him in line for the win. As his pitch count is up there at 76 through 4 innings. Ramos will lead it off in the bottom of the 5th rather, for the Giants. He is 0 for 1. He reached on a walk and made that terrible base running blunder earlier in the game for the 3rd out. As he will lead it off here in the bottom of the 5th for the Giants. Against Senga. Run down the Major League Baseball scoreboard for you again here in just a couple of half innings. Mets and Giants, final of 3. 2 teams with postseason aspirations. Mets looking for a deep postseason run. The Giants clinging to some wild card hopes here. They're 6.5 out in the division behind the Dodgers. And here is Ramos as we get underway in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ramos steps in, and Senga's first pitch, bottom 5, strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Senga to Ramos. Down low, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. That's ripped foul. 1-2. Devers on deck for the Giants. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. In the air, crushed. Left field, but it's going to stay in the yard as it was just missed by Ramos as the catch made out there by Nimmo and left for the first out. Boy, Ramos just missed that. Here's Devers, has an 0-for-2 night going. Devers takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. Devers awaits the 0-1 pitch from Senga. Swing and a miss. It's now 0-2 as Devers is in a hole. Devers awaits the 0-2 pitch from Senga, and here it is. Up high and outside, 1-2. One-two pitch. Devers fouls it off. One-two pitch again. Devers sends it on the ground to first. And Alonso underhands over to Senga, and that will be out number 2 here in the Giants' 5th inning. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Willy Adames. Adames is 0-for-2 on the night. Despite the high pitch count from Senga, the Giants have been held to just 2 hits. A Smith single and the Chapman home run. That's the only hits the Giants have been able to muster against Senga so far. That ball's hit into left. That's going to be the 3rd Giants hit as that gets down. Adames has himself a 2-out single here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And it will bring up Matt Chapman, who hit the home run for the Giants back in the 3rd inning. In the 4th inning, rather. 413 feet to left center field. Senga's pitch to Chapman. Chapman sends another drive into center. Back it goes, and that's going to go. Chapman's 2nd home run of the game gives the Giants a 3-2 lead here in the 5th. Number 16 for Chapman. His 2nd tonight. RBI is 40 and 41, and for the first time tonight, the Giants have the lead. as that just got over the fence into the Giants bullpen in left center. Now Yastrzemski takes a strike at the knees. Yastrzemski takes outside, 1-1. One delivery to Yastrzemski's inside, 2-1 now. Yastrzemski fouls this one off. 2-2. The count on Yastrzemski. Senga's 2-2 to Yastrzemski on the ground to second. Beatty has it over to first to Alonso to end the inning, but Chapman's second home run of the game, this one a 2-run shot, has put the Giants in front. As we head to the sixth, it's the Giants 3 and the Mets 2. Mets will have 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. Alonso, McNeil, and Marte coming up here in the sixth inning. Now trailing for the first time in this game, 3-2. So it's a 3-2 lead for the Giants as we are set to begin the sixth inning, as the Giants are trying to avoid the 3-game sweep here at home by the Mets. Also in baseball today, despite that 4-1 loss in Anaheim, the Mariners' Cal Raleigh did hit his 41st home run of the year in that game, although in a losing effort for the Mariners. So Cal Raleigh, the power hitter for the Mariners, and has the Mariners in the wild card hunt. While we have a minute, let's run down a couple of WNBA scores for you here. Connecticut 95-64 over Golden State. Fever win in Chicago over the Sky 93-78. Las Vegas over Dallas 106-80. And Phoenix a win in Washington 88-72. Atlanta and Minnesota 74-63. That score still in progress in the fourth quarter. Scores from the WNBA for you from today. First pitch, top 6 is down low as it bounces up there for ball 1. 2, Pete Alonso, who has an 0-for-2 night going. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Alonso. Inside, 2-0. Two-0 pitch. There's a strike, 2-1. Two one on the way to Alonso. Alonso rips this one foul. That'll even the count now, 2-2. Pete Alonso currently is 4 home runs behind Darryl Strawberry for the all-time home run lead for the Mets. Pete Alonso with 248. Darryl Strawberry had 252 in his Mets career. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Alonso grounds this one to first. In an easy play over there as Smith handles it himself. 1 down here in the Mets' 6th inning. And the batter will be Jeff McNeil. McNeil's 1 for 2 in the game. A lot of Mets fans in the stands in San Francisco. And a lot of different Mets jerseys on the Mets fans. Pitch on the way to McNeil. That's down low for ball 1. One-0 pitch to McNeil. McNeil sends one in the air to right center. That's hit pretty well. That's back, and that's going to be one hop off the wall. McNeil to second, made a wide turnaround second, but he's going to hold right there. And McNeil has his second double of the night. Double number 10 on the season for McNeil, and the Mets have the tying run at second with 1 out. For the Mets DH, Starling Marte. He's 1 for 1. He has singled and he's reached on a walk. Boy, McNeil was thinking triple there. He made that wide turn around second. But held up there with the double. Lucchesi is going to be out of this game, and we're going to see the 4th pitcher for the Giants tonight. And it's going to be Randy Rodriguez coming in to pitch for the Giants. Rodriguez making his 44th appearance of the year. He's 3-1. ERA of .82. 8 walks, 59 strikeouts in 43 2/3 innings. He's usually the setup man that they bring in the 8th inning, but Bob Melvin's bringing him in now. To try and keep this lead for the Giants at 3-2, as the Mets have the tying run at second base and McNeil with 1 out here in the 6th. Starling Marte will be the batter when play resumes here in the 6th. Mets are just 1 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. But an ample opportunity for the Mets here to tie this game up. Trailing by a run. First pitch from Rodriguez to Marte is high for ball 1. One-0 to Marte, grounded to short. McNeil has to hold at second and the throw over to first in time. For out number 2. So 2 outs and McNeil still at second base. And it'll be up to Beatty to keep the inning alive for the Mets. Beatty has an 0 for 2 night going. Beatty takes high, ball 1. Base hit here to the outfield should tie this game. One 0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Two 0 pitch on the way from Rodriguez to Beatty. That's outside. It's 3-0. Three 0 pitch. Strike at the knees. 3-1 now. Beatty steps back in and awaits the 3-1 pitch from Rodriguez. Here it is. Strike 2. Now the count is full. 3-2. 3-2 payoff pitch. Beatty fouls it off, and we'll do it again. Here comes another 3-2 pitch on the way to Beatty. Here's the payoff. Inside, ball 4, and now the go-ahead run is on for the Mets with 2 outs. So here's Alvarez. He's singled and doubled, 2 for 2 in the game. He has scored both Mets runs. Alvarez takes strike 1. Alvarez steps in and awaits the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And Rodriguez a strike away from getting out of this, preserving the lead. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Rodriguez strikes out. Alvarez, Mets do not score in the 6th. They strand 2. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It remains Giants 3, Mets 2. Giants will have 7, 8, and 9 in their lineup. Smith, Bailey, and Wisely due up here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Senga's at the 92 pitch mark through 5 innings. We'll see who comes out to pitch here for the bottom of the 6th for the Mets. And Senga's night is going to be done, as we are going to have a new pitcher for the Mets here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's going to be Jose Butto coming in to pitch for the Mets. He'll be on for the 33rd time, 2-1, 2.84 ERA, 20 walks, 39 strikeouts, 44 in the 3rd innings on the year for Butto. as he will come on to pitch here in the bottom of the 6th inning, trying to keep it just a 1-run deficit. As the Mets will be getting back into the meat of the order in the top of the 7th. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Mets batting order in the 7th. On a 61-degree early evening at Oriole Park in San Francisco. Beautiful blue skies overhead. Smith, Bailey, and Wisely, 7, 8, 9, due up for the Giants here in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch from Butto to Smith is fouled away. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. That's a little outside, a ball and a strike. One pitch. That caught the outside corner. Smith didn't think so. Well, home plate umpire Ryan Blakeney's had a few discussions with some players tonight about his strike zone. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. On the ground to second, picked up, bobbled a little bit, but still recovers in time to throw over to first for the first out. Beatty bobbled that ball a little bit, but still had plenty of time to get that ball over to Alonso, and there's the first out in the Giants' 6th. We'll bring up Bailey, the Giants catcher. Bailey is 0 for 2 tonight. And Bailey fouls it away for strike 1. Strike 1 pitch on the way to Patrick Bailey. Up and outside, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Bailey rips it into right, foul. 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes, the count on Bailey. As the Sea Vessels are still out there in McCovey Cove and beyond right field wall. As the 1-2 pitch misses outside, 2-2. Two-two pitch on the way from Butto to Bailey. Here it is. Bailey fouls it back, and we'll do it again. Bailey awaits the 2-2 pitch from Butto. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase a low one, and Bailey strikes out for out number 2. And it'll bring up Wisely. 0 for 1. He struck out and he has reached on a walk in this game. Wisely fouls it away for strike 1. Here comes the strike 1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 now on Wisely. Wisely steps back in and awaits Butow's 0-2 pitch. Up high, 1-2. One-two pitch to Wisely. Fouled away. Here comes another 1-2 pitch from Nimmo to Wisely, or Butow to Wisely. And another foul ball. Good battle here between Butow and Wisely. And here comes another 1-2 pitch. Wisely pops it up. Foul territory. Will it stay in play? It will not. Another 1-2 pitch from Butow to Wisely. Upstairs and a little outside, 2-2. Two. That's low and inside, and the count runs full now, 3-2. Here comes a 3-2 full count payoff pitch. Wisely sends it in the air to center. On the edge of the warning track, the catch is made out there in center field by McNeil, and the Giants are finished in the 6th. Wisely gave that one a ride, but to the deepest part of the ballpark, and McNeil able to come down with it. We've played 6 in San Francisco. It's the Giants 3 and the Mets 2. For the Mets, it'll be 9-1-2. Mauricio, Nimmo, and Lindor due up in the 7th. Rodriguez threw 12 pitches in that 6th inning for the Giants. So he will probably be back out there for the 7th. All right, 9-1-2 for the Mets. Mauricio, Nimmo, and Lindor in the 7th inning. Mets down a run. Looking for the series sweep in San Francisco. Well, usually it's the top of the Mets order that does the damage, but tonight all 7 hits for the Mets have been for hitters 5 through 9 in the lineup. Mauricio, who will be leading off the 7th, Mauricio has 2 hits tonight. But the top of the order, Nimmo, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso, a combined 0 for 12 tonight. So it's the bottom of the order doing the damage for the Mets tonight on offense. All right, Mauricio leading off the 7th for the Mets. He is 2 for 2 on the night. Single and a double, and he's drove in a run. First pitch, top 7 from Rodriguez, who is back out there for the 7th, and it's ball 1 outside. One 0 pitch, a swing and a miss. Actually, excuse me. I thought Mauricio missed that ball, but he ends up sending that one into McCovey Cove into right field, and this game is tied 3-3. Mauricio's 5th of the year. I've got the sound down on my TV, so when it looked like he missed that ball, but then when they showed the rip thing went right into McCovey Cove, it was question if it was going to stay fair or not, and it did. And this game is tied 3-3. Wow. Ball 1 outside. Now the top of the order, Nimmo. So again, the bottom of the order continuing to do the damage tonight for the Mets. Nimmo was 0 for 3, and he takes a strike here, 1-1. So brand new ball game once again. 1-1 is high. 2-1 now to Nimmo. Rodriguez delivers a 2-1 pitch, and that's right down the middle, 2-2. Two-two to Nimmo is outside, and the count is full, 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. Called strike 3. Nimmo knew it. That was right at the knees. 1 down in the 7th. And it'll bring up Francisco Lindor. Lindor has an 0 for 3 night going. He has drove in a run with an RBI ground out back in the 3rd inning. It's a strike 1 pitch to Lindor. On the outside corner, strike 2. Oh, 2 pitch from Rodriguez to Lindor. Swing and a miss. He got him. Got him to chase one down low, back-to-back strikeouts for Rodriguez. That's 3 on the night for him. And it'll bring up Juan Soto now with 2 outs. Rodriguez delivers to Juan Soto, who has an 0 for 3 night going. Foul back. That one got the mask of the home plate umpire, Ryan Blakeney. Hello. Dangerous behind home plate there, being a home plate umpire. Soto sends this one deep to left, and Soto sends it back and gone. Soto sends it out. The second home run of the inning for the Mets, and they have retaken the lead 4-3 here in the 7th. Number 25 on the year for Juan Soto. So Rodriguez here in the 7th has given up the game tying and now the go-ahead home run to the Mets. That's the first hit tonight for the Mets for someone in the lineup with the 1 through 4 hitters. Soto sends it 4 rows back over the wall. And Pete Alonso will be the batter, but it's going to be against a new pitcher as Rodriguez will exit. Rodriguez has given up 2 home runs here in the 7th inning, and he will exit this game. And Tyler Rogers will be the new Giants pitcher, 5th pitcher of the night. Rogers will be coming out for the 52nd time this year. 4-2 record, 1.48 ERA. 4 walks, 36 strikeouts in 48 2/3 innings. As Matt said, he'll be the 5th pitcher of the night for the Giants. As the Giants have lost the lead here in the 7th inning, as Mauricio and Soto have gone deep for the Mets here in the 7th. As the Mets have regained the lead in this game, 4-3. So Rogers comes on and will face Pete Alonso. And the first pitch to Pete Alonso is the ball. Alonso 0 for 3 tonight. Rogers an underhand pitcher on the mound as Alonso fouls this one off. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Rodriguez allows 2 home runs here in the 7th inning. In his first 43 appearances of the year, he had only given up 1 home run total. Before this, as Alonso fouls that off first base side, it's now 1-2. One-two pitch on the way from Rogers to Alonso. He brings it, swing and a miss, and that will end the top of the 7th. However, the Mets 2 home runs by Mauricio and Soto have grabbed the lead 4-3. As we will head to the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be the top of the order for the Giants. Lee, Ramos, and Devers coming up here in the bottom of the 7th. And we'll see who will be on to pitch for the Mets. Buto threw 19 pitches in that 6th inning. He now stands to get the win in this game for the Mets. Rodriguez would be on the hook for the loss at the moment. Between innings here as they are stretching as we get set for the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's one more time give you one more look at the baseball scoreboard for today. Pirates 6-0 shutout of the Diamondbacks today. Orioles beat the Rockies in Baltimore 5-1. Red Sox 4-3 over the Dodgers, take 2 of 3 from the NL West leading Dodgers. Yankees 4-3 over the Phillies. Yankees avoid the sweep in that series. Reds get the sweep over the Rays, 2-1, the final in Cincinnati. The Tigers avoid the sweep by the Blue Jays, 10-4. Mentioned that could be a playoff preview right there, Blue Jays and Tigers. Cubs get the better of their South Side rivals, 5-4 over the White Sox. Royals beat Cleveland 4-1. Brewers a 3-2 win over the Marlins. A's all over the Astros in Houston today, 7-1. Nationals a 7-2 win in Minneapolis over the Twins. Padres all over the Cardinals today at Busch, 9-2. Rangers over the Braves in Arlington, 8-1. And the Angels over the Mariners in that AL West showdown, 4-1. And here it's 4-3 Mets as we get set to start the bottom half of the 7th inning. As the Mets regain the lead with 2 home runs there in the top of the 7th inning, and it is going to be a new pitcher on the mound for the Mets. As it is going to be, it looks like Soto is coming in to pitch this one for the Mets in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Soto comes on to pitch for the Mets here in the bottom of the 7th inning, trying to hang on to the lead here, 4-3. And it is going to be the top of the order for the Giants. Jung-Hoo Lee will lead it off. In the bottom of the 7th inning. Lee has reached on a walk in this game. As the Giants trying to avoid getting swept at home in this series by the Mets. And again, these two teams will meet again next weekend at Citi Field in New York. Mets have a series in San Diego this week against the Padres, and the Giants will be at home against the Pirates in a series this week before the two teams do battle again next weekend. As the scene shifts to New York City next weekend for this series between these two teams. Again, a tentative plan on my stream. The tentative plan is to be back with you Tuesday night for the Rays-Yankees game. That is tentative plan anyway. Gregory Soto coming on his first appearance as a New York Met. He was acquired from Baltimore, so he's making his Mets debut, and he starts off Lee with a strike. A 1 pitch on the ground to first, an easy play there made by Alonso, and there's the first out in the bottom of the 7th. And it'll bring up Ramos. Ramos has also reached on a walk in the game. He's 0 for 2 officially. And a strike. The one strike pitch from Soto to Ramos is fouled away, and it's quickly 0 2. Oh, 2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Ramos goes down swinging. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And it'll bring up Devers. Has a hitless night going, 0 for 3. Devers takes inside for ball 1. Devers, of course, came over to the Giants from the Red Sox. He wasn't real happy in Boston. It's no secret. So the Giants acquired him from Boston. And Devers swings through this one, 1-1 now. Devers looks in and gets the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Fouled away, 2-2. Looking ahead to the Mets' 8th inning, it'll be 5, 6, and 7 in the order. McNeil, Marte, and Beatty. In the 8th, the 5 through 9 hitters has done most of the damage for the Mets tonight. They didn't get that Soto home run in the 7th. That's the difference in the game at this point. As the 2-2 misses high, and now full count on Devers. Devers steps in and awaits a 3-2 payoff pitch from Soto. Reaches for that one and fouls it back, and we'll do it again. The 3-2 is fouled again. And this will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Again, the 3-2 payoff. And another foul ball. Pitch number 9 of the at-bat, and here it is. And another foul ball. What a battle here between Devers and Soto. And this will be pitch number 10 of the at-bat. Pitch number 10 of the at-bat. Here it comes from Soto to Devers. A bouncer. Back to Soto. He spins and throws over to first, and the Giants retired 1-2-3 in the 7th inning. We head to the 8th. It'll be McNeil, Marte, and Beatty. 5, 6, 7 due up for the Mets as they lead this game 4-3 after 7. Mentioned the Mets head to San Diego after this to start a series with the Padres. That's a big series, Mets and Padres in San Diego starting tomorrow night. Giants stay at home against the Phillies, but the big series of the midweek coming up is the Cubs-Brewers series in Milwaukee. That's the big series of the midweek coming up. Brewers, one of the hottest teams in the National League right now. They did lose 2 of 3 at home to the Marlins this weekend, but Marlins still trying to hang in there in that wild card race in the National League. And again, series in the Bronx, which I hope to bring you the Tuesday game on this stream, the Rays and the Yankees. Rays fading a little bit, so they need to get back in it. They're right there in the wild card race. They're starting to fade here a little bit. They want to try to get some momentum back and get back in that wild card race. The Yankees, Aaron Judge, of course, headed to the injured list, as they've been in about a funk for about the last 6 weeks, and they find themselves 5.5 games out in the American League East, trailing the Toronto Blue Jays. So that's also a big series in the Bronx coming up here in the midweek as well. As the Rays look to get back in the wild card picture, the Yankees, they're trying to hang in there in the AL East, and they have not had success this year against the Blue Jays either. So they are trying to pretty much stay alive in that AL East race. Are the Yankees. As we head to the 8th inning, we're going to see the 6th pitcher of the night for the Giants coming in. And the new Giants pitcher is Tristan Beck. He'll be on for the 12th time. 1-0 record. 5.14 ERA, 8 walks, 13 strikeouts in 21 innings. He will try to keep this game right where it is, a 4-3 lead for the Mets. Here at the 8th, we're seeing the 5 through 6 and 7 hitters, and the 5 through 9 hitters is what's done most of the damage for the Mets tonight. It had been the top 4 all year long, but the 5 through 9 hitters doing the damage tonight. First pitch swinging by McNeil is into left center field. And under it out there in left field is Ramos, 1 pitch, 1 out in the Mets' 8th inning. And the batter will be Starling Marte. So 1 for 2 in the game with a single, and he's also reached on a walk. And the pitch is a little inside, ball 1. Marte receives the 1-0 pitch from Beck. In the air to center. Having to come on. That's going to bounce. And that's going to be Marte's second hit of the game. Lee was playing deep there in center field and tried to come on, but was unable to get up to the ball. And Marte has himself a 1-out single here in the Mets' 8th inning. And it will bring up Beatty now. 0 for 2 officially. He has reached on a walk in this game. And the Mets have an insurance run at first base with 1 out. Pitch from Beck is high and outside for ball 1. Looking ahead to the Giants' 8th inning. It's going to be 4, 5, and 6. Adames, Chapman, and Yastrzemski. Chapman has the 2 home runs tonight for the Giants. 1-0 pitch is a strike at the knees, 1-1. Beatty calls time and will step out. Marte is aboard at first with 1 out. And here's the 1-1 pitch. That hit the outside corner, strike 2. One-two pitch on the way from Beck to Beatty. Chopper to first. That's a fair ball. And that will be the second out. Marte advances to second. So runner in scoring position for the Mets now with 2 outs. And Alvarez will be the batter. Alvarez 2 for 3 on the night. He's doubled and singled. And he has scored 2 of the Mets' 4 runs tonight. Alvarez looks in, and the pitch is a strike. Either a strike or a foul tip, but nonetheless, it's strike 1. Runner at second is Marte. 2 outs. Mets up a run, 4-3, top of the 8th inning. Looking for a 3-game sweep in San Francisco. And here's the 0-1 pitch. Alvarez fouls it back, and now Alvarez is in an 0-2 hole. Marte, the lead from second. Beck looks in and delivers the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. Beck looks in again at Alvarez. Brings the 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Alvarez being patient here. Here's the 2-2. On the ground to short. That's going to be a tough play. Off balance, throw to first, and got him. Adames backhanded that and threw a strike to first base to throw out Alvarez, and that does it for the Mets in the 8th. They leave a runner at second. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Mets 4, the Giants 3. Adames, Chapman, Yastrzemski, 4, 5, and 6 in the Giants lineup, due up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So can the Mets hang on here? And we are going to see a new pitcher for the Mets here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Be their 4th pitcher of the night. It'll be their setup man, Reed Garrett, coming in the game. 2-4, a 2.83 ERA, 21 walks, 46 strikeouts in 41 1/3 innings. Trying to keep this right where it is, a 1-run Mets lead. Again, on the stream, we're going to be, on this page, we're going to be carrying some baseball for the next month. But once football season gets underway here in about a month or so, it is going to be a lot of action on this stream. On my page here. As football gets into full about a month away from football season kicking off. Be the second year of a 12 of the college football playoff new format. And of course, in the NFL, the Eagles will kick off the season on opening night and will receive their Super Bowl rings that night as the banner will go up. So football season just about a month away. know a lot of people looking forward to that. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Reed Garrett will face Adames. And the first pitch, bottom of the 8th, is a strike on the outside corner. Garrett brings the 0-1 down low, a ball and a strike. Adames 1 for 3 tonight. He singled and scored one of the 3 Giants runs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul. Ooh, that got Adames right in the foot. And Adames is slow getting up. Boy, that got him right on top of the foot. That's going to sting. Ooh, ouch. Right on the top of that left foot. There's no protection there. Adames is going to tough it out at the plate. It's going to have a nice little bruise there in the morning, I guarantee you. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Garrett to Adames. That's foul back. Another 1-2 pitch from Garrett to Adames. Down low, 2-2. Chapman on deck. Chapman has the 2 home runs tonight. Garrett's 2-2 pitch to Adames is fouled away. Adames steps back in once again and awaits the 2-2 pitch from Garrett. 2-2. That's lined into left center field. That's a base hit. And Adames aboard to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning as the tying run. And now Chapman, with his 2 home runs, will step up to the plate as the go-ahead run. See how Garrett will pitch to Matt Chapman. If Chapman goes deep for the 3rd time tonight, the Giants will retake the lead. As the crowd rises at Oracle Park. And the pitch to Chapman. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Little low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Garrett's 1-1 pitch to Chapman. Outside corner, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Chapman. Garrett delivers the 1-2 pitch to Chapman. Here it comes. He got him! Had one down and Chapman chased it, and Garrett gets a big strikeout of Chapman for the first out of the 8th. And that will bring up Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski 0 for 2 on the night. He has reached on a walk. Yastrzemski takes inside for ball 1. One 0, a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch. Yastrzemski rips it foul. 1-2. Brooks Raley is loosening in the Mets bullpen. And here comes the 1-2 pitch from Garrett to Yastrzemski. Up high, 2-2. Adames, the runner at first for the Giants. A 2-2 count on Yastrzemski. And here comes the pitch from Garrett. Outside, full count now, 3-2. Only 1 out. Let's see if Adames has the green light to go from first. Here's the 3-2. Foul ball. That may have got a little bit of Alvarez. By the way, there is a defensive switch here for the Mets, which we'll tell you about after this pitch here. And we have a break, so we'll tell you about the defensive switch right now. There's a new center fielder for the Mets, Tyrone Taylor. He's come into the game at center field, replacing McNeil out there. So Tyrone Taylor, the new center fielder for the Mets. Three-two payoff. Swing and a miss. Yastrzemski swung at a low one. 2 down in the 8th. And it'll be up to Smith to keep the 8th inning alive for the Giants. That looks like it may be it for Garrett on the mound. And it will be. So the Mets are going to make a pitching change. We will see the 5th pitcher of the night for the Mets coming in. It will be Raley. So Brooks Raley coming in. It's on for just the 4th time this year, 1-0 record. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for Raley in 3 innings. Raley is coming back from Tommy John surgery from last year. And he's on to try to get the final out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And it's going to be a pinch hitter here for the Giants, as it is not going to be Smith. Wilmer Flores is going to be the pinch hitter for the Giants, hitting .245, 12 home runs. He's drove in 59. First pitch swinging, fouled off, third base side, strike 1. Tying run at second for the Giants. Down a run here in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-1 outside, 1-1. One pitch is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Looking to the Mets' 9th inning, it's going to be 9-1-2. Mauricio, Nimmo, and Lindor. That ball ripped foul. Third base side, it's now 2-2 on Flores. Two outside, full count. Here comes the payoff pitch. Runner goes. Bouncing ball. That's going to be a tough play. It's going to be no play anywhere. That's going to be an infield single for Flores. So the tying run now at second, the go-ahead run on at first for the Giants. And it'll bring up the Giants catcher, Bailey. Bailey 0 for 3 on the night. So runner in scoring position where it has not been good for the Giants. 0 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. In the series with runners in scoring position, the Giants are 0 for 20. And it's ball 1 inside to Bailey. Bailey hitless in 3 attempts tonight. The 1-0 in the air to center field, barely having to move out there, and the Giants now 0 for 21 in the series with runners in scoring position, as that was a catch out there by Taylor to end the 8th. The Giants strand 2. We head to the 9th. Mets 4, Giants 3. It's going to be 9-1-2 in the Mets lineup. Mauricio, Nimmo, and Lindor in the 9th. As the Mets 3 outs away from sweeping this series over the Giants. And we will see the 7th pitcher of the night for the Giants coming in to pitch the 9th. And I'm actually not real familiar with this, so I hope I get this name right. Sean Jelly. I hope that's right. Making his 12th appearance of the year. 1-1 record. A little bit of an inflated ERA, 7.71. 8 walks and 11 strikeouts in 14 innings. He will come on to try to keep the game right where it is, a one-run game. As we will probably see Edwin Diaz in the bottom of the ninth for the Mets. Again, it's going to be 9-1-2 in the Mets lineup. The number 9 hitter, Mauricio, is 3 for 3 on the night. Mauricio hit the first of those 2 Mets home runs in the 7th inning. That's the difference in this game. Mauricio is a triple shy of the cycle. He's got a home run, a double, and a single in his 3 hits. As he leads off the ninth. Foul ball, strike 1. The strike 1 pitch, down low, 1-1. One pitch, down low and inside, 2-1. Two-one pitch, inside, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Mauricio sends it into left, and that's going to be into the corner and off the bottom of the wall. Mauricio will settle for a double. He is now 4 for 4 on the night. His second double, and the Mets have the leadoff runner on in scoring position here in the ninth, looking to add some insurance to their one-run lead. Boy, what a night for Mauricio, and his night is going to be over as he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. Luis Angel Acuna will be the pinch runner for Mauricio at second. And we're back to the top of the order in Nimmo, and he fouls it off, strike 1. Nimmo hitless in 4 attempts tonight. And a swing and a miss. Outside of Soto's home run, that's the difference in the game. The top 4 hitters, the 1 through 4 hitters for the Mets have not done the damage tonight. It's been the 5 through 9 hitters in the lineup. Here's the 0-2 to Nimmo, fouled off his foot, and we'll do it again. Nimmo steps back in and awaits the 0-2 pitch. In the air, left center field, and that's going to be up and over the center fielder. Rounding third is Acuna. He scores easily. Back-to-back doubles for the Mets as Nimmo has his first hit of the night, and the Mets add a very important insurance run. It's now 5-3. Now Lindor will be the batter. Lindor steps out. Lindor's got an 0-4 night going. Swing and a miss, strike one. The strike one pitch. Up high, 1-1. And again, Lindor calls time in the box. Edwin Diaz, the Mets closer, is loosening in the bullpen. Pitches down and inside to Lindor, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Popped up on the infield. Third baseman Chapman there for the catch, and there's one down here in the Mets ninth. Here's Juan Soto. Hit the second of the 2 home runs in the 7th inning. That's the difference in the game. The Mets have added an insurance run here in the 9th. Pitch to Soto outside, ball 1. So the Giants in the bottom of the 9th will need at least 2 against the Mets closer, Edwin Diaz. Or at least we would think it's going to be Edwin Diaz in the bottom of the 9th. It's now 2-0 on Soto. The Giants will have 9, 1, and 2 coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Wisely, and then the top of the order, Lee and Ramos. But what will their deficit be? Here's the 2-0 pitch. And it's now 3-0 to Soto. Soto, you figure, is probably going to take a pitch, maybe 2. And now they're just going to finish off an intentional walk and just put Soto on at first base. So that will set up a force play now with runners at first and second. And Pete Alonso, the cleanup hitter for the Mets, steps up. Chance to break this open for the Mets in the 9th. Alonso to short. That's good. Could be 2. There's 1 at second on the first double play. And that will end it in the 9th for the Mets. But they do get an insurance run. Last chance for the Giants. Wisely, Lee, and Ramos. 9, 1, and 2 coming up in the bottom of the ninth. It's going to be against the Mets closer, Edwin Diaz. Diaz will be the 6th pitcher of the night for the Mets and the 13th pitcher combined between the two teams tonight. As the Giants needing a 2-run rally at least here in the bottom of the ninth to avoid getting swept at home in this series. Diaz's numbers on the year for the Mets closer. 5-0 record, 1.51 ERA, 14 walks, 62 strikeouts, 41 and 2/3 innings. Looking for save number 23. And looking to lead the Mets to win number 62 on the season. Wisely will be the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the ninth. It's 0 for 2 officially. He has reached on a walk. So the Giants will have to get one of these batters on to get the tying run to the plate. Mets have out-hit the Giants in this game 12-6, so 2-1 edge in the hits for the Mets over the Giants. The Mets bullpen in this series has not given up an earned run to this point. First pitch to Diaz from Diaz in the bottom of the ninth is a strike. To Wisely. The strike one pitch way high, 1-1. One on the way. Fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Wisely. The 1-2 pitch on the way from Diaz to Wisely. Out and outside. 2-2. Wisely steps out for a moment, steps back in, and awaits Diaz's 2-2. Outside. Full count. A 3-2 payoff pitch on the way from Diaz to Wisely. In the air to right. Moving over a few steps to his left and making the catch. In right field is Soto for out number 1. Acuna, who came on as a pinch runner for Mauricio in the top of the ninth for the Mets, stays in the game to play second base. Beatty will move from second base to third base. Now Jung-Hoo Lee steps up, top of the order for the Giants. Outside, ball 1. Lee is 0 for 3. He has reached on a walk. Lee fouls this one off for strike 1, a ball and a strike. Ramos on deck for the Giants. Here's the 1-1 pitch outside, 2-1. Two one from Diaz. Up high, 3-1. Second straight 3-ball count. The Mets closer has inherited here has given up here in the ninth. He got wisely on a flyout. But what will he do now with Lee down 3-1? That's ball 4, and that's going to get the tying run to the plate for the Giants. Just the 15th walk given up this year by Diaz. And here comes Ramos. He has also reached on a walk, 0 for 3 officially. He represents the tying run for the Giants. The pitch it did hit him. Ramos is hit by the pitch, and the tying run is on for the Giants. As it's going to bring up Devers, and the Mets are asking for a review here. They don't think it hit Ramos, and they're wanting to go to a replay. Yeah, it looked like it did graze him on the elbow. Looked like the ball kind of switched direction there at the last second. But they are going to go to review here. Well, actually, on a more close-up replay, I'm not so sure. It looked like the ball switched directions on one of those camera angles. But on this real close-up replay, it looks like it may have missed him. Now, the thing with the review, it has to be indisputable. And is there going to be enough there to overturn the call? It's close. Home plate umpire Ryan Blakeney called it pretty quick. And they do confirm the hit by pitch. So the Mets lose their challenge. The Giants have the tying run on at first. Devers at the plate represents the winning run. 0 for 4 tonight. Diaz delivers ball 1. "13 pitches in the game for Diaz. There's a swing and a miss, 1-1. Now 14 pitches for Diaz, 9 of them balls. Time called by Devers. Devers steps back in. Diaz will bring the 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Devers steps back in and gets the 2-1. That's outside. They appeal to the third base umpire for a swing. He says no, and it's another 3-ball count, 3-1. Fans standing at Oracle Park. Swing and a miss by Devers. It's now a full count, 3-2. Adames is on deck. Here comes a 3-2 payoff pitch. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. 2 walks in the inning by Diaz. The tying run now at second. The winning run on at first. And Adames is the batter. Adames 2 for 4 tonight. A base hit into the gap could end this game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Adames takes strike 1. Boy, how big is that insurance run the Mets picked up in the top half of this 9th inning right now? 0-1 pitch to Adames. Swing and a miss. It's now 0-2. Diaz brought the heat on that one. 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Adames awaits the 0-2 from Diaz. Called strike 3 right down the middle. 2 down in the 9th. And it's up to guess who's coming to the plate. Matt Chapman, who has the 2 home runs tonight. The last hope for the Giants. The pitch to Chapman, strike 1. Again, 99 on the fastball. Who else would you want at the plate tonight if you're a Giants fan except Chapman, who's gone deep twice? Chapman fouls it back. It's now 0-2, and the Giants are down to their final strike. Diaz looks on, and the 0-2 pitch to Chapman on the way. Up high, 1-2. Diaz looks on, and here's the 1-2. Chapman swing and a miss, strike 3. And Diaz will get his 23rd save. It got sketchy in the 9th. As the Giants leave the bases loaded and the Mets come to San Francisco and get a 3-game sweep of the San Francisco Giants. 5-3 the final. 5 runs, 12 hits for the Mets. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Giants. Both teams played error-free baseball. Buto gets the win in relief for the Mets. He's now 3-1. Diaz with save number 23 on the year. Rodriguez suffers the loss for the Giants. He's now 3-2 on the season. As the Giants get the 5-3, or the Mets get the 5-3 win in San Francisco over the Giants and sweep this 3-game series in the Bay Area. Mets now 62-44, first place in the NL East. Giants fall to 54-52. As they are 7 games out in the National League West behind the Dodgers. Still in the wild card picture, however. As it got very, very hairy for the Mets in the 9th inning, but they do pull it out, 5-3. One more look at the baseball scoreboard for the day before we sign off here tonight. Pirates shutout of the Diamondbacks, 6-0. Orioles a 5-1 win over the Rockies. Red Sox 4-3 over the Dodgers. Yankees 4-3 over the Phillies. Reds get the sweep of the Rays with a 2-1 win in Cincinnati. Tigers 10-4 over the Blue Jays. Cubs a 5-4 win over their Southside rivals, the White Sox. Royals beat Cleveland 4-1. Brewers 3-2 win over the Marlins. 7-1 Astros fall to the A's at home. Nationals win in Minneapolis over the Twins 7-2. Padres all over the Cardinals 9-2. Rangers an 8-1 win over the Braves. And the Angels over the Mariners 4-1. And here, the Mets 5-3 over the Giants. Again, tentative plan on this stream is to be back with you Tuesday night for the Rays and Yankees. Hopefully, my full-time job will cooperate and I'm able to do that. That is the tentative plan, to be back with you on Tuesday night. Thank you for joining me on this live stream, everyone. Again, my name is John, Sports Bonanza John. My YouTube page, if you like what I'm doing, I would appreciate a like and subscribe on there for you. On there for me, if you would. I was on Twitch tonight, Sport Guru John. I do have some content on Kick as well. Sports Kick John is my Kick handle. Again, hope to be back with you for the Rays-Yankees game on Tuesday night. Thank you for joining me for a good one here tonight between the Mets and Dodgers. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.